All right, number 10. Again, remember, get rid of everything on the outside. So if I look at my two sides here, just like the one that was up here, number 6, we've got something in front that's being multiplied. And we have this that's minus 5 back here is being subtracted. Be careful. I have a lot of students that will try to add 3. This is a negative 3 and it's being multiplied. So we want to get rid of anything that's added or subtracted first. So we're going to get rid of that plus or minus 5 by adding 5. So this gives me negative 3 times 8, the absolute value of 8 minus 2x is greater than, and negative 30, sorry, negative 23 plus 5 is negative 18. Okay, and then we're going to divide by negative 3. Now, this is important. When you divide by a negative, you have to flip the inequality. So what we have left is the absolute value of 8 minus 2x. This time it's less than 6. So this is where I decide whether it's an and or an or. I don't decide that from the beginning. So here, because it's pointing towards the bars, I know it's going to be an and because it's going to go towards each other. And my graph's going to look something like this. So I already know what it's going to look like before I ever start. Okay, so now I'm going to write my two inequalities. I've got the 8 minus 2x is less than 6, and then I'm going to do the opposite. Negative 8 plus 2x is less than 6. And I'm going to solve both of those. Okay, this one might be a little confusing to you because the x term is the second one instead of in the front. But we're still working it the same way. We're going to add 8 to both sides. So 8 plus 6 is 14. So 2x is less than 14. And we divide by a positive 2. So x is less than 7. All right, on the other one, this time we're going to subtract 8. So we get, and don't forget this is a negative 2x. Make sure you bring that down. This gives me negative 2. And now on this side, this is the first one we've seen really in a lot of our assignments where we've had to divide on this side, or if you're, with the one that's given to us. So when we're dividing by a negative, we have to flip this one. Okay? Now when you look at this, okay, notice that the big number is actually written first. So if you kind of go by what the arrows are here, and think that, oh, that's going to go away from each other. It really doesn't. Okay, so this is an and. So I'm going to write it compound. So 1, small number, big number, x in the middle, less than signs. Okay, so when I graph this, just like I did on the last one, I'm going to have an open circle at 1 and an open circle at 7. So here's 1 right here, here's 7. And that's what my graph's going to look like. All right, number 11. Start off the same way. Okay, get rid of anything on the outside of the bars. So we're going to get rid of this plus 3. We're going to subtract it. So I have 2 times absolute value of x plus 5 is less than or equal to 18. And then we're going to divide by 2. And when you divide, those cancel. And so you have the absolute value of x plus 5 is less than or equal to 9. This is where I decide if it's an and or an or. It's pointing towards the bars, so I know it's going to be an and. It's got the line under it, so it's going to look something like this when I graph it. Okay? So to solve it, I've got x plus 5, which is what's inside the bars, and then the opposite of that is going to be negative x minus 5. Okay, and then we just solve both of those. So I'm going to add 5. So negative x is less than or equal to 14, and then divide by negative 1. Don't forget to bring down that negative. And of course, since I'm dividing by a negative, that's going to flip. So it's going to be negative 14. X is greater than or equal to negative 14. And on the other side, I just have to subtract 5. So x is less than or equal to 4. Okay, I said it was an and. So I'm going to write it at compound. So negative 14 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. if you write it with the word and between it, then you're going to need to make sure that you come back up here and put and then x is less than 4. Okay? Now to graph it, I already know what it's going to look like. Sorry. Let me move that all up. Let's try that again. So hopefully you were keeping up with what I was doing and not just watching the video, but you were listening also. So this is what it looks like when we get done. Closed circle at -14, closed circle at +4. So here's -14, closed circle, +4, closed circle, and then they're connected.